Welcome to Pulse episode 55. Today we're taking a look at some of the World of Warcraft news out there at the moment. In this episode we will mostly be looking at patch 4.1 related stuff, but there are also a few funnies, some mention of the video game themed amusement park Joyland, and there are quite a few nice art updates too. So let there be news. Patch 4.1 has been revealed. That's right, development on the first major content patch for World of Warcraft Cataclysm is well underway. Blizzard are currently making preparations to bring some of the initial content and updates they've been working on for this patch to the public test realms. So what will we find in the first 4.1 test client? Here it comes, and be careful, there's a lot of it. Firstly, Zagreb, originally a 20-player dungeon released in patch 1.7, will once again open its gates, featuring updated lore, all new encounters, achievements, and obviously improved loot too. Zagreb is, or at least will soon be, a level 85 5-player heroic difficulty dungeon. To provide a new tier above the current Cataclysm dungeons, players can expect to find epic quality item level 353 loot. The minimum average item level to enter this heroic dungeon is also 346, quite a step up from the 329 required for current heroics. Next up, another Zul in the form of Suleiman. Ever a player favorite, the level 70 10-player dungeon of Suleiman is also being reintroduced as a level 85 heroic 5-player dungeon. Suleiman will be joining Zagreb in a new dungeon finder tier of heroic dungeons, also providing epic quality item level 353 loot. While Suleiman will be slightly more of a throwback to the original dungeon featuring many of the same encounters, players can expect to find some updated gameplay mechanics as well as new environment textures and lighting. That all does sound quite good to me, and I absolutely can't wait to give these a try. So with the Zuls returning, one of the biggest questions all the fans are asking is, what about those mounts? Blizzard are quite pleased to announce that new versions of the rare raptor, tiger and bear mounts will be available, so that means the old versions of these mounts will in fact remain unique for those who already have them. Blizzard said that they will reveal more about how these updated mounts can be obtained in the future. Now onto the class changes we can expect in this new and certainly anticipated patch. While Blizzard do intend to make fewer balance changes in patch 4.1, we can still expect to find a fair number of updates. On your screen you can find a few changes that they'd like to share with us right now. They ask us to keep in mind that these are not the final patch notes. They may well change quite a bit during the development of patch 4.1. To start, it seems like Blizzard wants to do a better job of balancing the AoE power of the different damage dealing specs, so we can expect to see some changes to this end made throughout the testing process. Inner Rage is now available at level 56. It was intended to solve an excess rage problem that largely isn't affecting warriors anymore. They've added a replacement ability for warriors at level 83, Rallying Cry. Colossus Smash now ignores 70% of an opponent's armor, down from 100%. Blizzard are compensating Fury and Arms warriors by increasing the damage of other attacks. Word of Glory. Blizzard want Retribution and Protection Paladins to have reasonable healing on themselves or others, but they know Paladins sometimes feel like they can't use their holy power on anything but their heals in some situations. Blizzard would rather these two specs spend most of their holy power on damage dealing abilities, with occasional healing. As I mentioned before, there is a lot more than just that, and it can all be found in the links below. The guys over at Blizzard have already posted an updated list on the 28th of February, and there are quite a few more interesting additions. There were a few more class changes mentioned, most notably to Warlocks, Warriors, Druids and Priests, but I won't discuss those fully here. The biggest change in this update of the update was probably that you can now fly in Ghostlands, and this was obviously done in response to the fact that a lot of players will be streaming to the area to do Suleiman once the patch goes live, so why not make it a little easier for them to travel there. You can see an exploration video of the whole flight in Ghostlands thing right here on YouTube, courtesy of Total Biscuit. There were also a few other changes made to the way that resilience scales. Blizzard also, as usual, let us know that they look forward to sharing even more information with us in the days and weeks ahead as they release new content on the public test realms. Until then, have a look at the patch notes that they've prepared for us thus far. As always, as I mentioned before, these notes are not final and will continue to change throughout the development and testing process. So if you'd like to read more about all the stuff that I just mentioned, check the links below. There's a lot of information. One change that was not mentioned in the 4.1 post on the official side, but was in fact in the patch notes, was that work has begun on a looking for guild system. There isn't much known about it yet, and Blizzard only says that further details will be provided when they are ready for feedback. This feature was hinted at during BlizzCon last year, and it's great to see it finally getting close to implementation. Sort of, at least. There seem to be quite a few options available, but I am still unsure as to how something like this would actually work. As with the Dungeon Finder tool, you might get stuck with people you don't really want to be stuck with. Well, you can check it out on your screens right now and read more about it in the links below. Another pretty big UI related change that spells bound to a key will now start to cast when the button is pressed down by default, instead of waiting for the key to go up first. This is an option that can be turned off in the interface menu under the combat section. Mouse clicking has not changed and still operates on the click up. I think this will probably just help people who are used to that feature from other games, or feel it'll make them a little bit faster while playing. It's just personal preference, I guess. Patch 4.1 finally unlocks the old Ironforge area of the Dwarven capital. You now have a chance to walk around the area without having to exploit your way through the door. Hooray! You'll be able to explore the area and even see Magni Bronzebeard in a petrified state following the events of the Cataclysm. A bit sad, but still, it's quite nice to see. Total Biscuit has a nice exploration video up of the area, and you can find it quite conveniently linked on your screens right now. On the unofficial changes front, we have quite a few new models that were dug up by the guys over at MMO Champion. The most talked about, well, probably Ragnaros and his new, pretty pimpin' gear and, legs. Yes, Ragnaros is now sporting a very out of place looking pair of legs. Check it out on your screens right now, and please don't hesitate to let me know what you think about this in the comments. Other than that, which I feel is actually quite enough, a couple of new Firework Mounts were dug up, which you can see on your screens right now, courtesy of MMO Champion, along with a Flameword Hippogriff, and even a quick look at the two mounts we're set to be picking up in Zul'Gurub, the Zulian Panther and the Razashi Raptor. WoW would also have a big collection up of smaller NPCs, pets, other random goodies, and lots of kitties too. Lastly, a picture I absolutely had to share. You can check how sad Ragnaros looks about the addition of those legs to his previously magnificent form. Thanks Reddit. Brace yourself now. There are a lot of extra 4.1 related pieces to talk about. One of them being that come the patch, we will see Battle.net account bound items that can actually be transferred to different servers. Yes, proper bind on account items. But there's no word on how this will work yet, or whether it'll change our existing items or not. There are a bunch of new and updated icons for achievements, items, and creatures in the new PTR client. There's also some newly discovered trading card game loot being added. Blizzard will be tracking our elevator deaths from Blackwing Descent. There's a lot of speculation about a new legendary staff dropping for casters. There's obviously a lot of loot to be seen, and there's a new epic guild tabard that gives you 100% extra guild rep when worn. The Winterspring Frost Saber's grind, which I'm sure quite a few of you are familiar with, has been changed quite drastically, in a good way. The quest is now pretty much identical to that of the Venomhide Ravasaur quest that the Horde gets. So yes, the mount will take a minimum of 20 days to get now, but it only costs you a couple of minutes every day to do that daily quest, so it's not that bad. All of that and much more can be found in the links below, courtesy of WoW Insider, MMO Champion, and Wowhead. To stray away a bit from that which is yet to come, and have a look at what's already going on the live servers, a few more sets of patch 4.0.6 hotfixes have been applied. Below you can find the lists of changes from February the 18th, 19th, 22nd, and 25th. The notable changes in these sets include the following. The previously proposed Dungeon Finder changes have been implemented. For hunters, aimed shot damage has been decreased to approximately 160% weapon damage at level 80+, down from 200%, and Aspect of the Hawk now provides 2000 attack power at level 85. Demolishers were apparently respawning too quickly in Strand of the Ancients. They are now on a 20-second spawn timer. From the 25th list, we have pretty much exclusively Bastion of Twilight changes. I'm pretty sure all the raiders amongst you will appreciate this batch. The ones doing heroics even more so. Along with all of that, there was also just a quick fix for some of the issues players neutral with the Twin Peaks and Battle for Gilneas factions were having while playing. There are obviously more changes, but it does seem like the hotfixes are getting less every week, and that's a good thing. I guess this will only last till patch 4.1 hits the live servers, so read the full list below. In February, I spoke about that Blizzard-themed amusement park called Joyland that was set to open in China sometime in March. Well, thanks to an article over on the Huffington Post, it seems like the rumors are true and that the theme park is in fact being constructed in the Wujin district of China. A few new photos of the park were released, and I have to say it's coming along quite nicely and looking almost exactly like the concept art of the park shown on their site. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that for all of you theme park junkies out there. No, for those wondering, Blizzard still doesn't have anything to say about all of this. If you want to see all those new images of the park or just read all about it, you can find everything you'd ever want in the links below. In some of our favorite types of updates, the art updates, we have some new fan art from the Warcraft universe to drool over, and a couple of updates to the official Wrath of the Lich King gallery. See my favorite on your screen right now and check the links below for the rest of them. Blizzard has challenged us, the fans, to submit our comic creations to the Blizzard Comic Contest, and the entries never fail to amuse and amaze, that much is sure. The following comic from Melissa Boston was selected as an honorable mention in Blizzard's ongoing contest. Check it out, I think it's totally cute and well made and definitely deserves a mention. As an extra, you can also check out this comic from the guys over at GU Comics about the recent debacle of the Whiptail in Uldum nerf. Quite fun. The guys and girls from over at the Daily Blink are back with even more humorous images concerning current events in World of Warcraft. What can I say, this one was bound to happen. In their latest image, they take a jab at the whole Ragnaros with legs thing by throwing some extra legs on various other big names in Azeroth, calling them rejected concepts. Quite funny and well worth checking out too. Let's head on over to the World of Warcraft Smalls. First up, I thought I'd talk about the biggest small in our smalls section, the localized Brazilian and Japanese versions of World of Warcraft. What about that? Remember the leaked Blizzard product slate from a few months back? World of Warcraft Brazil was actually on there, and if you look at it, you can see that the timing is actually near perfect. That means that the rest of the items on the list may well be correct too. Diablo 3 in Q4 of 2011? Yes, please. The next new player tips post is up. It's called Dial M for Macro. I think you can figure that one out. There's a poll up on the official community site, also about macros. And the guys over at Swag Dog are having a big sale on their World of Warcraft themed hoodies. Next up, you can read about the Cryptozoic World Tour in Paris. The 15th World of Warcraft comic book is available for digital download. MMO Champion have some nice stats up about Horde and Alliance win ratios in Battlegrounds. 2,200 rating PvP weapons are now available for purchase. The next legendary WoW video podcast is up. This one's about hotfixes versus PTR. The Blizzard artists are apparently going to be signing at the 2011 Wizard World Anaheim Comic Con. Right here on YouTube, you can check out PST episode 17 and 18, the latest weekly Marmot, which is a crash course on raid leading, Tankspot's guide to Heroic Conclave of Wind, a new and updated video about the Razor Switchblade, and you can see Reddit's take on the new Firework Mounts. A wild Moltres appears. Sadly, that is all I have for you on this most Warcrafty of days. A StarCraft episode will be coming out sometime later this week, so keep checking back here for that too. Thanks again for watching, liking it, favoriting it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing. For all the WoW fans out there, I will probably be doing some patch 4.1 instance runs and trying to get them up as soon as possible. Right now, I think the instances are a little too far from complete to even bother. Thanks again for being generally great, and most importantly, happy Warcrafting.